Sorry,
I'm
just keep going.
Jennifer Mitchell. I'm with the St. Johns River Water Management District. We are a permitting agency and an agency that's able to do cost share projects, and we also do water quality sampling. So we kind of dovetail nicely into all of these, as well as education and outreach. So glad to be a partner in this project.
Thank you. National Estuary Program. I don't believe we have anybody. Oh, we do. We do. Excellent. Snuck in on this.
I'm Dan Claudia. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for the Indian River Lagoon National Estuary Program. We're mostly granting agency, so we provide funding for these types of projects, and we're always interested in projects that are helping reducing treatment.
Then we have City of Cocoa Beach.
Walker Dawson, I'm the Stormwater Utility Manager for the City of Cocoa Beach.
Cool. Thank you, Walker. Green Resources Council.
I'm the Marine Resources Council. We do a lot of science education and outreach for the Indian River Lagoon and Restoring Health. One of the main focuses being low impact development. We have conferences, so we're really close to them.
Thank you, Bree. Riverside Conservancy.
Hi, I'm Kelly McGee. I'm the Executive Director of the Riverside Conservancy. We are based in Edgewater in Volusia County, and we partner a lot with cities and counties and private homeowners to restore living shorelines. So if you're a private homeowner and you want to donate a conservation easement on your shoreline, you contact us. And once we have the easement, then we raise grant funding to actually restore your shoreline. We can restore everything from a seawall and retrofit seawalls to planting mangroves and spartina. And so we're really thankful to be invited as a partner of Stetson and the city and all these partners. Thank you so much.
Swap my hat from Button Pushers. Hi everyone, my name is Amy Rome. I'm the Sustainability Manager at the zoo. You're probably pretty familiar with the zoo and our mission of helping people and wildlife thrive. But behind the scenes, we also do a lot of work on being a really sustainable organization, working on anything from our energy and water, waste management, to doing work out in the community with partners on helping to restore the Indian River Lagoon and to just share awareness about these important projects. So we are very excited to hopefully be a future neighbor of the City of Cape Canaveral, build this aquarium, which we'll be talking more about later at our table.
Thank you, Amy. Kinley Horn.
Hi everyone, I'm Colleen McGee with Kinley Horn and Associates, and my spot is down there. We have offices all across the state of Florida, but we've been assisting the city with the development of the Presidential Streets Master Plan. And so if you want to learn more about that exciting plan, come talk to us at the back at station number 3. But there'll be stormwater solutions as part of that master plan.
Burlington.
Hi, I'm Jessica Russo. I'm the Urban Green Infrastructure BMC Specialist for Ferguson Waterworks, and we specialize in carrying solutions or products for green infrastructure. So I go around and talk to engineers, municipalities, and help them understand what solutions they have and implement.
That's everybody from here to Miami. So. So we do appreciate you being here. It really will make a difference in the long run. We have a series of stations set up, which Lexi is going to talk about because I totally forgot when I was supposed to say how this works. So Lexi knows how this works. Lexi is our Resilience Engineering Services Manager. And this is really exciting because you get prizes, which are in here. This is your swag bag that you'll get, which also include in this raffle free Brevard Zoo tickets. So, whoa! Yeah, whoa.
So I don't have much of a voice right now, so I just need everybody to what is that? But our teachers tell us, put on your listening ear. So just to double check, did everybody who's here sign in and both sign in and sign a waiver? Anybody not do that? Okay, sweet. Yeah, we'll get you later. Additionally, everybody should have a blue ticket that just has a raffle with your name and contact information on one side, and then station numbers 1 through 4 on the other side. Essentially, how this is going to work is everybody, we're kind of going to split the room down the center, and we're going to send as like our first part of the stations down the center. You guys are going to go to these 2 tables on either side of me. two very lovely people from St. John's are going to talk about some of the education tools and the concepts surrounding stormwater management, especially in the city, but also in wetlands. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them very quietly off to the side. After that, essentially what's going to happen is we're going to have groups rotate through our stations 2, 3, and 4. So you might be doing your stations out of order, but it's just to ensure that we're getting feedback, questions, and then just kind of a basic covering of the different projects that we have going on in the city. Some of them are in concept design phase, some of them are in, like execution phase. So we're just trying to kind of make sure that we're covering all of our bases. Again, like Jason was covering before, it's really important to get that community engagement and to ask those questions and make sure that we're getting good feedback on our stations and on our projects and ideas when it comes to managing the challenges that we're kind of all facing here in our community. I believe there is a tambourine somewhere.
Yeah, I've got the tambourine.
So you'll kind of be broken up into groups to just kind of hear the spiels from each of our partners at each of our stations. When you hear the tambourine, we're just going to rotate, we'll rotate clockwise. And you'll just go to whatever station is next. So we'll all start at station 1, kind of split down the middle, and then we'll rotate between 2, 3, and 4. I think we have about 10 to 15 minutes for each station. You're welcome to ask any and all questions. There should be somebody from the city at each station to answer any city-specific questions. If not, find one of us. We'd be happy to help you out, maybe very quietly. Zach and Kyle are here though, and they can answer lots of questions.
Kyle, you want to introduce yourself real quick?
I'm Kyle Harris. I'm the senior planner with City of Cape Canaveral. I'll be at probably the station. You guys have any planning?
Yeah.
Thanks, Kyle.
So
yeah.
the immediate next step.
Tambourine.
The tambourine.
The immediate next step is going to be if you're on this side, we're going to ask you to. If you're on this side, we're going to ask you to go to this station over here. If you're on this side, we're going to ask you to come over here. It's a lot of the same content, just kind of stormwater management practices and getting an overview so that we can make sure that if you guys have any questions, we can help you out.
I go either way, right?
Either way, yeah.
Like how will they break up into the next station? Clockwise, I think you said?
Yeah.
So everyone knows they'll just go in.
Yeah, we'll break up from there, yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
So those of you on virtual, we'll be doing the same thing, going through the stations. And what I'd like to do first is to have us see a quick video about the Enviroscape, which is the first location where everyone is going to. And this video. So what I'll do is just show this video. The Enviroscape is a educational tool that can be used to show how pollution that's on land gets into our local waterways. And it's often used with youth, but it's a really good way to just highlight and show what the Enviroscape is and what it means. So I make this a little bit bigger. So I know this video is from obviously not Florida group, but I still think it's a really good way to just highlight how water, can get into how stormwater and non-point source solution can get into the system. So I do each of the groups here in our location is going to each station, answering some questions. And so we'd like the same from you guys. And unfortunately, I don't see how I can send chats to you, but possibly you all can send a chat message to me and let me know that you're here. So if you pick the organizer and panelists, who you want to send it to in the chat, hopefully I'll be able to see that. So if you want to say hi real quick, I'm going to create just a short link that you'll be able to hopefully type into your browser, where we're going to actually go to this Jam board. So it's a way for us to get some questions and answers from you all. No, the video that I just showed did not have audio. That's a good question. So it just had like a background music to it. So I just turned off I just turned off my mic because it's a little bit loud here, so you'll be able to, so you can see it a little bit better. So let me quickly make a shorter link of this page. A second. Let me stop sharing for 1 second so I can get this for you, because the links that I have are much longer. I need to make a little shorter link for you all to be able to see it. But I do want you to think about the video you saw and how you think that will, the questions I have for you would be in your neighborhood, like where you are, and what you would see. So let me see if I can get this onto another page. And thank you for joining us today. We really do appreciate you guys being able to come on. Even if you can't be here in person. So if you can see my screen, I have this shortened link. It's a bit.ly link, so it'll go to a Jam board where you can go to a page where you'll be able to actually use some sticky notes and be able to put answers and questions that you have on the Jam board. Close out my email here. It's one last thing to have up. So if you do bit.ly/3IMA, that was all lowercase, and then a capital P for one lowercase h. The video I showed is on YouTube, yeah. And anyone can go to it, so I can show you where it is. So this would be the link to go to this EnviroScape that I showed. So it's a short link. Sorry, I can't get it into, maybe the organizer can share it with you all, see if that works. So this was the link that went to the video I showed of the EnviroScape. If you can share that with the attendees, that would be great. So I don't have the ability to do that on my end. Thanks. The video that I showed doesn't have audio, so there isn't anything to listen to except for music. So the screen, the words that you saw on the screen was basically the video itself. There wasn't any audio to the video. So let's try the upping this then. Let's see. The organizer can send that for me. So that's short and link, which is here as well. We'll go to, so you mean you can't hear me talking? Let's see. Let me see. Let me see if the organizer can hear me. Okay. Okay, sounds like at least someone can hear me talking, so that's good. Okay, so this short and linked, I guess let me just type in, you can't hear me. Okay, so if you can hear me, I just want you to go to this link above. This goes, right, looks like someone's already in the Jamboard. So you can use a sticky note here on the left to write a note. And then save it. And you can move it around. So with the Enviroscape, if you want to use the sticky notes or to type in, you know, what you all think about stormwater in your neighborhood and how you think, you know, your neighbors and yourself, you know, and think of your neighborhood and how it can better make stormwater, you know, go to areas such as natural areas or using rain barrels or rain gardens. We're going to show some of the ideas that the city has in a couple other slides. So this question about what you can do about all the concrete patios and such. So some things you can do is just re-diverting that water to either a rain barrel or to a grassy area. So if you can do that, then at least it's not going onto a paved surface and then going into the street or into a down the drain. So one of the things I'll be showing you is a couple of solutions that the city is looking at to basically have a place for that water to go if it was coming off of a driveway or patio and going into a more natural area. So actually, let me show you that. So one of the next stations up the Enviroscape is this station on the Environmental Innovation Corridor. So if you, on your side, if you are on the Jamboard at the very top, you can go in between frames. And so I'm showing here frame number 2. And this is in conjunction with station number 2 here. And so the Environmental Innovation Corridor, it's a concept the city is looking at in order to preserve and remediate 2 kind of large wooded areas that are on East Central and Thurm Boulevard. So this is the first one that's on West Central and North Atlantic Avenue. And so it would be turned into a dedicated nature park. And so there would be stormwater retention. So having that stormwater go to a certain area, there would be an exercise loop and potentially an outdoor living classroom. And then there is another environmental innovation corridor that I'll show on the next slide. But, you know, what we would like to know is just what you like potentially about this concept in this project. Maybe something you don't like, and how you think this particular project, you know, could benefit the community. And again, you can go off to the left here and click on a sticky note, and then type in your thoughts on this particular area, this urban forest park, and what your likes or dislikes are, or how you think it could benefit the city, or any questions you have in particular about this corridor. I'd be curious to know if anyone lives near this area, and if you have frequented it, or if you have other ideas of how this potentially could be used, this area. It is a fairly large wooded area right now that's basically just covered in trees. And so it would be changed a little bit so it could be more easily managed as like a stormwater area and a nature area and a place for people to go and frequent. So use all native low maintenance plants spaced with room to grow. Yeah, definitely. The city has been doing a really good job at looking at using natives, keeping, you know, live oaks and other plants like that that are already in an area, but using, you know, basically the Florida friendly landscaping kind of principles to put in these areas. So they're low maintenance. There's not, you know, can't really get away from not doing maintenance, but, you know, low maintenance in that respect. Anyone have any other thoughts on things you like or don't like? Concerns maybe that you have about this particular site and project? Maybe how you think you and your neighbors would feel about having this area for you to be able to frequent. Again, if you go to the left side of the screen and click on the sticky note, you can type in your thoughts, and then click save. It goes onto the board, and then you can move it around, or keep it in the corner, and I can move it for you. Well, as you're thinking about this particular site, if you have a question, you could put it in the chat as well. I'm looking at that as well, but if you yourself want to move to the next frame at the very top, you can click to the right to go to the next frame. And this is the other part of that innovation corridor. So this is on the corner of Thurm Boulevard and A1A. So again, a fairly large kind of wooded area. There's actually lots of water in this part of the park. So there's a lot of ponds, and water already in this area. We Jason Evans and his team actually took some drones out to this area to better map and look at this area from above, so we could get a better idea of what was basically in this wooded area. So you can see there's just a lot more water in this area. There is on the kind of lower left part an area to be able to access the Banana River. So in this case, there could potentially be being able to connect to a kayak trail, which could, if you go north, connect to the Brevard Zoo and the proposed aquarium project. So if you want to click again on the sticky note on the left and put your thoughts in the sticky note and then click save, you can move this around. So again, things we're asking, let me change this so you can see in case you can't hear me. So what do you like about this project? What do you dislike? And I'll be asking the same questions on each of the screens. So you can think about it as we move along, and you yourself can move in between screens. So you can always move forward or backward in between the frames. Do you think this project will benefit the community? And maybe what some advantages or disadvantages you see. About this project. Yeah, with all the water, pathways be boardwalks, I would assume so. Just looking to see if it looks like there are some areas that are going over the water, so they probably would have to think here about what type of surfaces they would use for the different walkways. I think one of them is like an exercise trail, so that probably would have some type of walkway that's for running or for other things like that, or if it's going to be for exercise. But I definitely see like some areas going over water, so there will certainly be some bridges more than likely. I don't think they obviously developed what the materials will be used for this yet. This is just a conceptual design, in the hopes that this kind of project can be developed and implemented. Then one final thing I'd like to know is maybe what other ideas you have. And this Jamboard will be shared with the city, and of course they have the recording of this webinar as well. So we'll be able to go back and look at the information you can provide. And you can always go back to this Jamboard if you want, because it is going to be available for feedback at any time. So you can share it with others if you'd like, and have them provide their feedback if they weren't able to make it today. So we're looking for a lot of different ideas and thoughts. Let's go over here, make sure. Okay. Again, if you're I don't think anyone new has joined. No. So, okay. So the next area or station is an area for the presidential streets. And so this is on frame number 4. And this area is with some of the flooded pictures that were in Dr. Jason Evans' presentation. He showed, quite a lot of flooding in the streets, and the presidential streets area is one of those areas where a lot of flooding is occurring. And so this is a part of a master plan document, currently under development by the city and consultant Kim Lee Horn. And it's really going to serve as a guideline for elected officials and staff to reconstruct the area, of the presidential streets area, each kind of presidential street, in order to make them more resilient to flood-related issues, safer for motorists, bicyclists, pedestrians. And so it's envisioned that each street will eventually incorporate some type of complete street design. And so that'll utilize things like pedways, bicycle lanes, improved lighting, traffic calming measures, and then stormwater control. So some of the things that are being thought of for this area is this first option on the top right, having a two-way street with sidewalk on one side and on-street bicycle lanes, and then some landscaping will occur in the right-of-way. So there'll be plantings and in this particular area. So that'll just allow for some of that kind of greenery on the side to help absorb some of the storm water and the water that'll come through, because this area has a lot of sidewalks and streets and pervious surfaces, so not a lot of places where water can actually get into the ground. Another option of 1A is, again, a two-way street with bicycle lanes, palm trees, plantings, shade trees. So this would be some larger trees that would go into this area. And this is sort of part of this urban tree canopy approach, where the urban trees not only provide shade, but they help uptake a lot of nutrients and water within the area. And then option 2 is just looking at converting streets to one-way streets. So there'd be one-way street, designated lanes for cyclists, wide sidewalks for walking. Again, those either shade trees or bioswales or rain gardens along the walkway. So over here, the same kind of questions that I have. So, what do you like about this? What do you dislike? Do you see do you have questions, comments, ideas about the project? Let's see. Do you think this could benefit the community? And any disadvantages or advantages of this project? Again, you can use the sticky note to write your own comments and your thoughts on this. So option 2 better, because there's less hard road and more area for the rain. Yeah, definitely. That's a good that's good for us to know, your preference, if you do have a preference for 1 or 2. So I'll write that down as well. So people can see. Other thoughts or questions that you have?
I can hold the door open for you. How much water is it? Does that have to be a problem? Maybe we can, the street 49.
Okay, so I'm gonna just move on to frame 5, and this is the same presidential streets, just a more higher up view of showing what this might look like. So again, with the one-way option on the left, so that converting to one-way traffic, a two-way bicycle boulevard, crosswalks with lighting, shade trees, rain gardens, a pervious curb, and so that just means that water can infiltrate into the groundwater. And then on the right, the two-way option. So maintaining two-way traffic. Obviously, we just have a kind of smaller area for bicycles and sidewalks, but still having those shade trees. You could still probably do rain gardens, especially along the sidewalk area. And again, likes or dislikes, disadvantages or advantages.
So easy.
Yeah. Wow. So you can use, again, your sticky note if you want to make a comment. This is, like I said, just kind of a larger top view of what this would look like as far as like a one-way or two-way. And then we're going to move in a minute to the final station. Okay, so I'm going to move to the final frame. And so this is a project called the Civic Hub. And so it's a proposed concept that's actually would be just south of City Hall, in that area on A1A. And so it'd be a multi-purpose placemaking space. It allow for expansion of pedestrian and bicyclists oriented amenities. So there'd be pathways, rain gardens, event areas. It would allow for the addition of multiple low impact development and green stormwater infrastructure designs. So there would be things like underground storage chambers, which City Hall already has. So just having that in this area as well, bioswales and trees. And so this is the current map. One of the concepts, and there is another concept, which I'll show. But what are your thoughts? Likes, dislikes, advantages or disadvantages? To this project. And And this is just concept one, and there's another concept on the next slide, or next frame, I should say. Lots of green space, less paved, yeah. Yep, definitely. I really like the amphitheater of this concept, just because I think it'd be great for events or shows. And there is, like you said, quite a lot of green space within this area, and some, good walking paths. So the next one is another concept of the Civic Hub. So slightly different. You can kind of toggle in between the two frames if you want to see the differences between the two, but you can see this sort of middle space here has changed a bit in the second concept. So instead of having a sort of larger plaza area, in a circle here with a small kind of water feature, you would have an expanded kind of plaza area with these kind of smaller water features. Yeah, too much paver area. Yeah, so you like the more kind of concentrated paver area. Makes sense? And the other concept has sort of a larger, maybe more concentrated water feature, I guess, instead of having these little multiple water features. Let me just up here again. So likes, dislikes, advantages, disadvantages, thoughts, comments, ideas. I think that, yeah, that's my last frame. So these are the different stations and different concepts that we're showcasing here today. So if you have other comments that you'd want to look at, if you want to look at these a little bit more in depth or just think about it a little bit more, you're always welcome to kind of come back and write your thoughts on the frames on this Jamboard. This will stay open, and you, even if you want, you can always share with a neighbor or a friend if you would just want to show them what you learned today, and give them an idea of what is being done for these different concepts and thoughts the city is doing and working on for this project, and in the future. So the presidential streets master plan is happening right now. So this is something that's currently under development for this master plan, in the hopes of implementing it And so if you live in this area in particular, I think there are some outreach that's going on to get feedback from the community, and that has happened already. But definitely contact the city if you do have some specific thoughts. I see this need at least one dedicated bike lane, lesser and more plans. Yeah, definitely. That's one of the biggest basically goals of this project, the master plan, is to put in less road, actually have more plants and more green space for that water, the runoff, the storm water, rainwater, to actually have a place to go instead of just running down the street and accumulating. Does anyone have any questions in general? Let me go to the last one here. And if you have questions in general about these projects, which of these projects are you most excited about? And maybe even what excites you about these projects. So as you're thinking of these questions, what projects are you most excited about, or what excites you about these projects? There will be 2 other opportunities to come in person to talk about these projects. So I know you weren't able to join today. You're only able to join online, and you can come to the other 2 workshops that we'll have. We don't have dates for them yet, but we will be announcing those soon. And so hopefully you'll have the opportunity to come during those. Yeah, environmental corridors will help prevent flooding. Yes, definitely. Yeah, that's our hope, is that we have these more natural areas, and so that way we have less flooding on our streets, especially the residential streets area. That's the goal. So I'm glad that you're excited about that, because we're excited as well. So give it a couple more minutes. At least here in the room, the last thing we have to do is just a kind of final wrap up. And if you heard earlier, those who are present were able to put their names in for a raffle. So we will be giving that out as well. But I'm happy to stay on. If you have any questions, you're welcome to put it here on the Bitly page or on the Jamboard. So this is where we are at right now. If you're, I don't think we had anyone that joined on. Same amount of attendees. So, but this is where we are right now, hanging out. So let me know if you have any questions. And hopefully I'll get to see you at a future workshop if you're able to join. And again, I hope you have a good, we are going to be finishing up in just a couple minutes. So I hope you have a good rest of your day if you're able to join us today. And I'm glad that you'll be able to be here for this discussion online. So it's good that we can get input from everyone as much as we can.
You know about you? Want to say something? Too much water also causes.
If you organizer can send this out to all the attendees, what I just sent you in the chat, that would be great. Thank you.